Um, because this market has been so good, that's why I wanted to start with in 2016 and 17, the GDP, has excelled so much. But I saw a lot of that personally in our real estate business as somebody who is writing 20 and 30 contracts or reviewing 20 and 30 contracts a week. We're constantly in touch with appraisals, what's going on with the lending institutions. And I have a residential division as well. We've had so much activity. It's really difficult to explain it to an outsider, I would say, unless you spend a little bit of time and unpack this. The significance is really overwhelming. And John Levine is awesome. His title is Chief Investment Officer, but the amount of time, effort, and energy he has put into learning the minutia of the Lehigh Valley is amazing. So with that said, please, I'll turn it over to you, John.
I want to welcome everybody here this afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us. Just wanted to say that we're in our fundraising stage, and it's an exciting time for us and the fund. And at the end, we hope that you obtain more information by requesting the PPM, and then we more can in depth talk about what we're trying to do. So let's talk about the Lehigh Valley just briefly, because Tejas had given some great stats. It's a great place to invest money. There's many investment opportunities, and as Tejas, and my job is really from what Tejas is able to source from buyer opportunities, seller opportunities, different kinds of real estate, multifamily opportunities, from what Jeff has seen in terms of the loan market. And my job is to take all this stuff together and to review it and to make sure that it fits our portfolio and what we are investing in. So we're going to talk a little bit more about how we do certain things. But again, Tejas on the real estate side, with his experience, with his team, his processes and procedures, and what Jeff has been doing so successfully for the past 10 years. And lastly, we want to work with people like David, who is very knowledgeable about his side of the business, and we want to continue to grow, in addition to who we already work with, our circle of people to produce and maintain an evergreen, successful fund. Tejas?
Yeah, let me harp on a couple little things. Because the Valley has been so prolific, I would say, and we all went through this period where we saw so much growth and then COVID hit. And from a real estate standpoint, we did have a little bit of a break, but things almost compounded when it came back on. Like, our phones are ringing off the hook. There are people looking, multiple offer situations, just like it was before COVID. A little funny statistic, but there was an open house at roughly $250,000 home. There was 86 people there in February, early February, before COVID hit. And so, the whole country, everyone took a little breather, but now we're going so far beyond where we were. It's kind of hard to explain that to people. And I think that this valley is insulated from a microeconomic level versus what's going on nationally or even regionally. John, can you talk about that?
Well, I do believe that. Let me start at the end with some stats. Let's take trucking, which is a great subject for this area. They're pre-COVID, and they take and analyze through the major highways that go through Lehigh Valley, the number of trucks per day, the number of trucks per week, month, whatever. There was a dip during COVID, and we're back up to a level that is higher than pre-COVID. So it's just one example of, the resources are here, and the insulation comes from the fact that people want to be here, they want to work here, they want to distribute here. And as we'll again talk about a little bit later in terms of availability to build, municipalities who want to work and build. And, I listen into, there's 42 municipalities within the Lehigh Valley, so as many as I can. And they are approving zoning subdivisions. If you listen to the Lehigh Valley Planning Commission, and if you go to our site, you're going to get there's some redirects to go to the Lehigh Valley Economic Corporation and all their information. And so we keep on top of that. But basically, as Tejas said, they did a great job working remotely, and government authorities working remotely to keep business open. And now we're basically back processing kind of all those things that did take a hit. So they just
So movement. That's the big thing we're trying to get across here. It's a lot of movement here in the Lehigh Valley, and being a multifaceted economy, right? The Lehigh Valley has 3 cities. We have Allentown, Bethlehem, Easton. We have 22 that goes above. We have 78 that goes below. We have the waterfronts. We have universities, walkable city centers, so on and so forth. So talking about the just how much activity there is in my team alone. Last year, we helped buy and sell about 180 units altogether, which was incredible for our team. And it was our second year as a team in the Lehigh Valley. Previous to that, we were individual realtors. But now what we've seen is more and more people from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Maryland, DC. And COVID was actually some of our best marketing, which sounds very odd to say, but previous to what was happening here, we had a lot of people moving here. And if you don't know this, there's a lot of buses that go from the ABE market to Philadelphia, to New York City, to New Jersey. So there's just so many more and more people. We had a light winter this past year, and we have a significant amount of farmland around here. So all of this made this, I'd say Q3 and coming up Q4, very, very, very active. Multiple offer situations, lot of residential and commercial properties going over asking, things like that. John, do you want to round that out with some of your pieces?
Yeah, just, basically, if you think of the Lehigh Valley economy, it's a rising tide. And again, we're in a fundraising stage, and we want to be able to take those investors' funds and invest them in the community. So there is, I think I'm up to 25 now asset types that we would look at. The fund, and again, if you look at the PPM, it tells you what we can invest in. And so there's just such a multifaceted economy. If you add in government activity, and of course, they're in the real estate business. I read a whole proposal with regard to, creating a new fire department in one municipality, and on and on and on. So, yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with, what you're saying, Tejas, and we'll continue to look at every opportunity to make a good return.
Okay, so we are coming to the end of the webinar. This next slide, as promised from the very beginning, and also I've posted in the chat box to the right of the screen. This is how to get in touch with David, Tejas, Jeff, and John, and also myself. Just give you a few seconds to jot this down. This video, we also mentioned, will be on our website and posted throughout social media. Perfect. So that wraps it up. We at Real Estate Investor MBA want to thank all our panelists for sharing their expertise and information with everyone today. Remember, we'll be having another webinar on Friday, August 21st from 4 to 5. And the new series, this will be Investment Series Part 2, How to 1031 Exchange Real Estate right here in the Lehigh Valley. So if you want to join and haven't signed up, please do so. We'll be sending out links for that webinar later this week. And if you also know anyone or other accredited investors who are interested, just let them know to look out for the invite. Hope you have a great day.